Hey. Listen, I want to welcome y'all to the Warm Handshake with Adrienne Simpson. And I am super excited today because in our studio, on our television show, we have Dontell Antonio, the content
Hey,
king. I like to say it like Dontell Antonio with an accent. How are you?
I am beyond blessed. And yourself, Queen?
Listen, I am doing fantastically well, and I really appreciate the question. I appreciate it. Beyond blessed. All right, let's get into that. Let's talk about that. Um, because I just love your energy. And so from the first time we chatted, we got a little side story about that. But when we chatted, you just seem really energetic, warm, and welcoming.
Yeah.
Right. And so talk a little bit about your energy and just how you present in spaces, especially as it relates to business.
I think for me, I've been like this since I came out my mama. Like I just always just was a burst of energy. Like I used to always get in trouble in school because I was just all over the place. Like, somebody like excited to be here. Like I want people, I'm just excited to be here. It don't matter life itself, in a room, in a position, whatever it is, I'm just excited to be here. And I've been like that my whole life.
Amazing. I love it. So I can't say that I always present as excited, but I am very intrigued by people. Like I'm a people watcher. I love to pay attention to people. I love to listen and learn more about people in that way. And so would you just share with everybody who you are and what you do?
Well, I'm Dontell Antonio, and I'm the king of content. And what I do is I help entrepreneurs be their authentic self and show up in front of this camera so they can impact and serve on a higher level.
Oh my gosh. You're gonna lead right into it, right? Gonna get right into it. Because we both know, right, being in entrepreneurial spaces that some of the biggest challenges that entrepreneurs have are delivering their message. They may have all the smarts in the world, have all the information and knowledge, created that multi-million dollar process, but they come across as stale as a piece of toast, nobody's gonna buy from them.
100%.
So what do you
100%.
do? So how do you help the people, Dante? Tell us how you help the people.
First of all, the first thing I do is I shut up and listen, right? And I listen to the problem, and then I'm like, oh, okay. And then something just trigger off in my head, like, oh, no, they go over here. It's more like this, not like that. And you should do this and this and this. Cause I've been a full-time creative. Like I left my 9 to 5 in 2010. And so I've
Oh,
been shooting content for 13 years. So I done dealt with so many personalities, so many different problems. Like I could just nail it from like a mile away.
okay. 13 years full
Yeah.
time.
Full time. That full time. No 9 to 5s. I left my 9 to 5 and went all in.
Oh, wow. Wow. So
Yeah.
talk about that strategy, if you will, because there's plenty of people who are listening
Yeah, that
who
wasn't
are
no strategy.
okay.
That was about at that time I was working as a server at Steak and Shake,
Okay.
and I was on Northside Drive at first, and I was making like $200 a day. If I stayed
Okay.
there, I'd still be there, right?
Mm.
But I got fired for kind of like insubordination a little bit, and so they don't fire you, they transfer you. So they
Okay.
transferred me to Cobb Parkway, like right across the street from like where the battery is and
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
They transferred me to that Steak and Shake, so I went from making $200 a day to $30 a day, right?
Oh.
And I'm in Marietta, so the bus don't run on Sunday.
Mm.
And so I got to pay a cab, which was $15 to the place and $15 back. So my whole $30 was going to the cab fare. And
Oh my
then one
gosh.
day, the person who got me the job, he got fired for eating chili. And I just said, you know what? I'm out too. Because at that time, I was getting paid like $100 to do a flyer. So
Yeah.
each week, I do no less than 300 flyers. I mean, not 300, but 3 flyers. So I make $300. And I'm like, oh my gosh, hold up, let me just leave. Like I'm just gonna leave and just attempt to do the creative business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's crazy. But what you shared though, your story is like so many other people that we know, right? Just a bunch of entrepreneurs. They have an idea, they're doing something, maybe doing it on the side, right? They're doing a little bit, they dip their toe in the water. Gonna dip their toe in the water, right? Dip it back out. They go home, they're miserable at work, right? But then something happens, some shift happens, and they decide to go for it, right? That was your shift? Is that right?
Yeah. 100%. I was just like, I'm all in. Like I can't play around. Like for me, I've been creating graphics since I was 13 years old. So I started at Photoshop at 13. And so I have not stopped since the age of 13. right?
Oh,
And
man.
yeah, like I'm a real creator. Like that's another
Yes.
reason why you see like, and I'm from Chicago. I'm from the like I'm real. Like I'm
Okay.
really him, you know. So it's just like for me, I'm excited, and so I just went all in. Like if you gonna bet, like I always been a gambler since 6 years old. I know that sounds bad.
Since
I,
6?
yeah, I started with Pokemon cards, right? And so I was like, if I'm gonna gamble, let me gamble on me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's the best thing you could say. Um, so talk about the kind of content you create, because I heard you say Photoshop. Like, I used to dabble back in the day. Photoshop is not an easy program, right? Not that it needs to be, but it's challenging. But now we have Canva and different other tools. But talk about sort of the kind of content that you create and really what you bring to life for entrepreneurs.
So I don't do graphics and stuff no more
Okay.
for our stuff. We got employees for that, but I still love to dibble and dabble. Like a lot of times, if you see my graphics, I kind of do my own stuff because I just
Okay.
love to touch graphics. But what I mostly do now is I shoot content and I strategize. And
Okay.
so me personally, that's what I do for the company. But as a company as a whole, we do systems, automation, funnel designs. We do uh content ideas, strategies, execution. Like, yeah, we do it all.
A full suite.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like trading in Pokemon cards at 6. You talked a little bit about betting on yourself, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk really about sort of how you really decided like what you wanted to do was content? So I know you mentioned Steak and Shake and working there, but for the person who's listening and they're like, you know what, um, I can't do content. Like, but I do want to like leave this 9 to 5. What kind of, I guess, what kind of thought process or just even emotional feelings and push did it take for you to leave? Was it just the $30 cab ride, or what were some other things that really just were an impetus to make you leave?
I was still young. So for me, it was kind of like I didn't have the responsibility. Like if I looked at it now, it'd probably be a lot difficult because I got a whole family and kids and all that. I didn't have that then. And so my mentality was it's like my thing that I was doing on the side was doing better than the thing that I'm working for.
Mm,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
And this
yeah.
was my passion anyway. So my passion was already doing good. And I felt like I wasn't putting enough into it
Hmm.
because I was spending more time for somebody else. And for me, I dropped out of college as a photographer because they was teaching me how to be an employee and not a CEO. Right. And so I dropped out 3 quarters away from my bachelor's. Like I'm already was at the
Whoa.
end. That was the last year for me. And I just did not like that. So for me,
Hmm.
I tell entrepreneurs, do not leave your 9 to 5 until your business on the side is doing better than the thing that you're working for.
Yeah, yeah,
And it
yeah,
got
yeah.
consistency because everybody like, oh, go be an entrepreneur, leave your job. You will be back at another job in 30 days
You will be.
because you ain't built for that.
That's
So
right.
you only leave when that business that you started is doing extremely well. And when I say extremely well, enough to take care of your living
Yeah, yeah.
and and to suffice the business.
Right, 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 right.
Right.
That's key, because what you say is there's so many statistics around people starting businesses during the
Mhm.
pandemic. Everybody and their mama started a business, right? Black women started at like a business every 13 seconds or something crazy. But how many sustain them?
Mhm.
Right? How many sustain them? How many keep the doors open? And the side of entrepreneurship that we don't talk about, right, is the inconsistency in
Yeah.
business. Right. And so, y'all, listen, we're talking to Dontell Antonio today, the content king. And we are excited just to have him on the warm handshake with Adriane Simpson. We're going to pause right now just to allow a break for our sponsors, and then we'll be right back.
Hey there! Are you an executive or entrepreneur looking to increase your income and revenue? Well, you've come to the right place. We're the LinkedIn Pros, a specialized agency that's all about crafting personalized LinkedIn strategies to help you achieve your revenue goals. Our amazing CEO, Adriane, is a pro at empowering business owners to position their brands for maximum impact. And she's also a whiz at helping professionals land their dream high-paying jobs. We're here to help you build your professional brand, expand your network, and achieve your wildest career aspirations. Don't settle for just getting by. Give us a shout today and and let's get started on your journey to success.
And we're back. So I want to say thank you again to my guest, Dontell Antonio, the content king. He's dropping nuggets, y'all, and just sharing the great information about how he got his start from a server at Steak and Shake to a multi-million-dollar, dare I say,
Oh yeah, we
content
doing great.
creator. You doing all right? That's what you say.
God is amazing. You know.
And listen, he hasn't shown me any books, y'all. I'm just estimating because listen,
Oh, we can show you the back end. It's no
uh,
problem.
uh, uh, listen now, listen, that wasn't no challenge though. But I love a confident entrepreneur. I just love a confident person, y'all, who is leading with their passion, leaning into what they love, and then sharing, sharing nuggets with y'all, helping you to get your mind and thoughts together. All right, Mr. Antonio, listen, I would love it if you would just share with our audience today just a couple of key points as an entrepreneur, things that you do that you can recommend to them, ways that you have been able to move successfully, and what you can share with our audience.
Um, the main thing I want to share with you is my 4 family principles, right? And I built the family creed, and these is the values I stand on, my family stand on, and we're pushing it for generation. Number 1 is integrity.
Yeah.
We'll never lose our integrity for an opportunity, no matter what. Number 2 is unity. We will always do this together because we can never do it by ourselves. So don't be scared to collaborate with people. Don't be scared to partner with people. Don't be scared, because the only way you can do this is as a team, not as an individual. Yeah. Right. Number 3 is courage. Always have the courage to speak up, even when it get tough, even when it's going to make you uncomfortable or the other person uncomfortable. Always have the courage to speak up. And number 4, everything that you do today is not for today. It's for legacy. It's for futures. It's for the future. So understand what you building is your legacy. And so start building legacy.
Man, I love that. I love it. I love it. And so what I think enough people don't think about is the legacy they're leaving, right? I have 1 daughter. How many children do you have?
3.
You got 3 babies, right? And so what we're doing isn't for ourselves. What we're doing is for our legacy. It's for our children. It's for our children's children. If you're doing it right, you're leaving it for them. And so I love that. I love it.
And it's so real for me. Like my 4-year-old daughter, her name is Journey, and my 1-year-old son, his name is Legacy. We are on a journey to help people build their legacy.
Yes.
100%.
Oh my gosh.
It's real.
I love that. I promise I'm not going to get emotional. I'm going to edit that out. I love that. So I have 1 baby. My daughter's name is Harper. She's 8. And so we're teaching Harper to not only work and be compassionate for other people, to leave a legacy. We're building for her future, because we know as parents, we're not always going to be here, right? We're not always going to be here to help and support her, to teach her the ways of the world. And so it's our responsibility to leave a legacy for our children and children's children. I love that. I love it.
100%.
All right. Man, this has been amazing. Can we talk a little bit about, before we get out,
Let's
can
go.
we just talk about how y'all bullied me into starting?
100%. I'm
want
one of them people, like, I'm gonna just go get straight. I'm one of them people, like, I hate to hear people say what they want to do. Like, we got the blessings and the opportunity to do what it is, right? And so it's like sometimes people like overthink it, like they want it to be perfect. Like, stuff don't gotta be perfect. Like, I'm like, when I hear somebody attempt to be a perfectionist, I stop them, because there's no such thing as being a perfectionist. You have to become a high achiever, and that means you're gonna put something out and allow yourself to be human and get better over time. And yeah, that's what happened. I heard you say something, and I said, let's implement it. Now you can tell a story.
Listen, I need y'all to understand why I'm over here laughing, because he told it his version, his way, and I really appreciate that. Everybody that's listening to me, that's watching this episode, needs to have a friend like Mr. Dontell Antonio, who hears you say what you want to do and challenges you to do it. And that's what happened. And that's why we're here talking today. Listen, friend, I thank you so much for your time. I thank you for the push. I thank you for the journey and talking to us about your legacy. I really, really, really appreciate you being on the Warm Handshake with Adriane Simpson. And how can the folks get in touch with you? How can they follow you? How can they get more of this information, this goodness that you share and drop today?
Man, number one thing, just follow me on Instagram at Dontell Antonio. That's Dontell Antonio. It'll pop up. And the biggest thing I just want you to leave with is create content. And when you create content, I want you to be your authentic self. I know sometimes when you're getting started, it's going to be uncomfortable, but that uncomfortableness is going to stretch you. And that stretch is going to get you closer to those goals that you always spoke on. See, I don't want you lying to yourself anymore. I want you to start achieving everything you promise yourself. Because if you lie to yourself, you lie to the world. And if you lie to yourself, you will never show up as your authentic self to the world. So I want you to start executing everything, even if it hurts. Even if it push you, even if it challenge you, even if you can't see the outcome, I still want you to go. Believe in yourself and always be your authentic self no matter what.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Y'all listen, make sure that you save this episode. Make sure you share with other people because we really want to get this message out because you dropped some incredible nuggets today, friend. And I just really appreciate your time and your space and your energy. All right. Thank y'all so much. Tune in for the next episode of The Warm Handshake with Adriane Simpson. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to The Warm Handshake with Adriane Simpson. Let's stay connected and continue the conversation. Follow Adriane on LinkedIn and join our community of like-minded individuals.